Ah, here's some news. And there it goes. And here's some more news. Two billionaires, Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, recently went to almost space and mostly space, respectively. Yes, while millions of people faced being evicted from their homes, the planet was transfixed on an inspirational story about having a lot of money and doing whatever you want with it. Because Jeff Bezos, the richest man on an entire planet thanks to coming up with the idea of bookstore but online, was planning on going into outer space for a couple of minutes just past the Kármán line, which is more or less the threshold between Earth's atmosphere and the vacuum of space. Not to be outdone, Richard Branson, a peasant compared to Bezos, yet also still another grotesquely wealthy billionaire, thanks to coming up with the idea of record store but through the mail, decided that a few days before Bezos, he would go to outer space first, for a moment, just below the Kármán line, so not space. And I guess that's what happened, and we liked it, and it's inspirational. Is it good? Maybe. Bezos is the richest person in the history of the dominant species of a whole planet. Maybe he'll get inspired, maybe he'll be changed by the experience. Maybe some real amazing good will come of it. After all,
I don't know what it's going to mean for me. Everybody who's been to space says it changes them in some way, and I'm just really excited to figure out how it's going to change me.
Now, first of all, didn't know he sounded like that. Very interesting. But what Bezos is referring to is what's called the overview effect. Basically, astronauts see the Earth, not in a photo, but in their own eyes, their own view, just the lone Earth floating in nothingness. Precious marble, the pale blue dot.
I'm excited. People keep asking if I'm nervous. I'm not really nervous.
You're
I'm
not
excited.
Jeff,
I'm curious.
Jeff, you're not nervous?
I want to know what we're going to learn.
What will we learn? Some cosmic truth? Some existential delight? A galactic horror?
You see the Earth from space, it changes you. It changes your relationship with this planet, with humanity. It's one Earth.
One Earth. True, it changes you. The Earth? From space? Humanity! Go on.
People say they see the thin limb of the Earth's atmosphere. It teaches them how fragile and precious the planet is, how there are no boundaries.
Okay, Jeff, real quick. I have to ask. So you're saying this stuff a lot. So, don't you know already that the Earth is fragile and we share it and need to take care of it? Are you not operating under those beliefs already? If you're not, do you need to go to space to understand it? It's like saying, I hear when you have a daughter, it really changes your perspective on how you treat women, but you're aware it's a problem. You're saying it out loud, Jeff. Just do it now. You know you need a perspective change, so just do that. Although again, do you really need to go to space to learn that there are no boundaries? Have you seen certain globes? But maybe something else will happen. Other, deeper epiphanies. The excitement is rocket high!
I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm excited to find out.
I'm excited to find out too, Jeff. What did you learn in space?
We need to take all heavy industry, all polluting industry, and move it into space.
I don't think it worked, folks. Though, to be fair and be Team Sear, he does add...
And keep Earth as this beautiful gem of a planet that it is.
But it does feel a bit tacked on, right? Lip service to the planet, then back to business. Post-flight to the edge of the Earth's atmosphere, he continued.
When you look out at the planet, there are no borders. There's nothing. It's one planet, and we share it, and it's fragile.
And yeah, that's true. But, Jeff, we already knew that. You talked about it all the time.
People say they see the thin limb of the Earth's atmosphere. It teaches them how fragile and precious the planet is, how there are no boundaries. I mean, you can't imagine how thin the atmosphere is when you see it from space.
Yeah, Jeff, there are no boundaries. We know. This is grade school shit. Did you already know you were going to say the thing about moving pollution to space, Jeff? Because it sounds like you repeated a bunch of platitudes you already discussed on camera several times, stuff that you know you're supposed to say, and then added, and we should move all polluting industry to space, while also admitting...
Now that's going to take decades and decades to achieve, but you have to start, and big things start with small steps.
Yeah, man. Decades and decades from now is when we'll finally have some pollution in space instead of here. That's what scientists think can solve climate change. That's already, happening. Moving pollution up in many decades. Not changing how we do things, but rather moving the problem to space. As Jeff says,
we're going to build a road to space so that our kids and their kids can build the future. And we need to do that. We need to do that to solve the problems here on Earth. This is not about escaping Earth.
Wait, what? You can't just say stuff. What? To solve the problems here on Earth, we need to go to space? Says who? You? Just now? Though I do agree, actually, space exploration and settlement could potentially lead to technologies we can implement to help the planet, energy-wise, computationally, sun stuff, I don't know, but we don't gotta. What? We need to stop burning fossil fuels and plant trees and shit. Go to space to solve our problems? Excuse me? And the thing is, space is very cool. All right, these space billionaires with their vanity projects are ruining it. Bezos cites the moon landing as inspiration to do this because he wants to inspire young people too. But I don't know, people coming together to defy and manipulate physics to land a person on the fucking moon 50 years ago is maybe more inspirational than this guy in his little hat. Space is incredible and confusing and godly and human and mysterious. There are planets that rain glass, like actual alien worlds, clouds of water, trillions the amount of water on Earth, just floating in space. An entire galaxy resourced with outdated Warner Brothers references and all the basketballs you can dunk. Incredible stuff out there. So much possibility and things to learn and explore to help us realize that in many ways, we are all one. There are, as they say, no borders. So it would be great for the richest man on the planet and contributor to the planet's problems to go to space and have an actual, real, not fake perspective change. He comes back and he's just like, what are we doing? What am I doing? What are we all doing? One man has this much power? Why? Because I came up with books, but online? Tried to make a phone for a while? And he gives Amazon workers a bunch of money and is like, we gotta give Whole Foods to the homeless and we gotta plant trees at the ice caps. We'll harness the sun to cleanly turn the ocean into drinkable water. Oh, we'll use the reusable rockets, the ones I'm making, to ship the water to people who need it. Or who knows? I'll ask the science people. I've got so much money. But, as this one behavioral scientist points out, maybe a 2-minute flight just above the Kármán line isn't actually enough to experience the overview effect. After all, you're not suspended far out where the Earth, all of it, is in front of you here, in your hands. You're in a high-up plane flight, more or less, where Earth is kind of here. Because what happened is the richest man, literally ever, went to the edge of the atmosphere and was like, so first of all that stuff I said that people are supposed to say, plus, we gotta move the pollution up. We'll put workers in space. And that's what he's been pretty clear about, sending the workers to space. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen it. There are a lot of shows out there, you gotta catch up on Bookle Teepers, the epics of Star Lake, Hero Person. But if you don't know, on Jeff Bezos' Amazon Prime, there's a show called The Expanse, which in part illustrates a severe class divide between the workers who mine the resources, do the dirty, dangerous work, etc., and literally everybody else. That's not only what it's about, but that's kind of what it's about.
All we've ever known is low G and an atmosphere we can't breathe. Earthers, get to walk outside into the light, breathe pure air, look up at a blue sky and see something that gives them hope.
And this is the twist right here. The joke has always been, all these billionaires are trying to escape Earth. They're gonna go to space while the Earth melts from climate change. But as the spouse of a NASA flight controller explains in this thread on the social media platform Twitter, space is awful. It requires tons of people constantly solving problems on the ground while you turn screws and poop in bags and make sure your bones don't soften too much. As Bezos has said, it's about protecting Earth, it's not about escaping. Sure, Elon Musk might try to escape Earth and die on Mars, but Bezos and Branson and any future rocket billionaires, they're not going to live in space. They'll enjoy a quick surf along the Kármán line, sure, but space? That's for the workers. To piss in bottles in Amazon trucks or poop in bags in a penis a little bit. It's like The Expanse, but if a real person wants to do it and thinks it's good, and they're rich and they indirectly fund a show about how it's bad. It's an interesting goal. And if you think I'm off the rails with this one, I'm going to go to the website of Jeff Bezos' rocket company, the Blue Origin website. And I'm going to read from Blue Origin's website, their About section, the first sentence. Blue Origin was founded by Jeff Bezos with the vision of enabling a future where millions of people are living and working in space to benefit Earth. So, this definitely was a planned statement, like without a doubt, right? He wants to put industry and millions of workers into space to benefit Earth. That's their mission. He hyped up the idea that he'd have some huge shift in perspective and an epiphany, and then said the thing he already planned on saying and doing. But why? Well, cliffhanger, like The Expanse, the show, Okay, here's an ad. Cliffhanger. Hello, silly goats. Warmbo here to tell you about Skillshare, an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for the creative and the curious and the adorable, like Warmbo. I think this actually might be the wrong I'm Warmbo, and Warmbo, as well as Warmbo's best friend Cody, have teamed up with Skillshare so that the first 1,000 subscribers who click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of premium membership so that you can explore your own creativity. Just click the link in the description below. Warmbo loves Skillshare because Skillshare gives Warmbo the opportunity to explore new skills or hone in existing passions, like Warmbo's scrapbooking and, wow, Cody friend figurine sculpting. Wow, Warmbo. There are all kinds of fabulous things to discover on Skillshare, like animation, creative writing, and photography, so you can take pictures of your best friend Cody. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning that there are no pesky ads, so you can stay focused on growing creatively. Skillshare! I'm supposed to wave my arms in the air now like a puppet, but listen, Skillshare totally did help me learn animation, and it was easy and really fun, and you should check it out. Look at this thing I made! That's neat, right? That thing you just saw? So do the thing and join Skillshare. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership for an entire month so you can explore your creativity. Warmbo style or regular style. Warmbo, we're not doing that anymore. So anyway, we now return to Amazon Prime's Some More News. When last we saw our heroes, they were lying and saying they had an epiphany in space to put millions of workers there to benefit Earth, thus solving climate change or something, even though it was his plan all along. But he has no real, effective, meaningful plan for climate change. Not really. Upon being asked about people who think these are just joyrides for the wealthy, and people who say you should be spending your time and your money and energy trying to solve problems here on Earth, Jeff replied,
Well, I see they're largely right. We have to do both. You know, we have lots of problems in the here and now on Earth, and we need to work on those.
but Jeff, you've already said that we have to go to space to solve Earth's problems. So isn't going to space already doing both to you? Are you wiggling around, Jeff? Although at least he has admitted that I specifically, am mostly right. But what does doing both mean to the president of Amazon and owner of the Washington Post and Whole Foods and Spacetown? Well, he has pledged to give $10 billion of his almost $200 billion in assets to climate change over 10 years, while his assets rise every year by tens of billions of dollars. And while there aren't a whole lot of details about his Bezos Earth Fund, it certainly does seem like a performative band-aid to just give some money to organizations and call it a day, much like most billionaire philanthropy. If he actually wanted to fix the problem, he would be willing to sacrifice, to change, specifically change many practices at the pretty polluty company Amazon. Like, if one of the most powerful companies on the planet changed their practices, developed green, safe technology for the things that they already do, that would probably cause a big effect around the world in other companies, yes? Instead of tossing $1 billion to nonprofits once a year. But to be fair, and etc. and so forth, if Bezos were to suggest Amazon needs to do more about climate change, Amazon might threaten to fire him. So, or Jeff Bezos, Michael Bloomberg, and Bill Gates could join forces to mine for raw materials in beautiful Greenland. That too. So, that's cool. Unrelated, Mr. Bezos recently built a super yacht. It was so super, in fact, so literally large and heavy that a helicopter couldn't land on it. So he got a second yacht, a normal-sized big yacht for helicopters, and eventually rockets, we must assume, right? Like, eventually, landable, reusable rockets for Amazon international deliveries, space tourism so rich people can realize the Earth is fragile and has no borders, and for shipping people and trash into space, apparently. His words, mostly, paraphrased. So, like, do we have to? Do we have to let him decide these things? Because it sounds like he's saying nothing will change about the way we do things, the direction society is headed, the way we approach problems. Only the tools will change. We'll sweep everything nasty just above the Kármán line, then send millions of people to work in space to benefit Earth. And on Earth, we'll have pockets of collapse and migrations and droughts and food shortages, and Jeff on his super yacht, his words. Because, and I don't want to hurt the richest man literally ever's feelings, but he's not a spectacular man or a brilliant idea fellow. Like, if we had elections and we as a society were like, well, what if there's a service where you go online and you can, like, buy stuff? It gets delivered to you pretty quickly. We can use the postal service for a lot of it. Most people would be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that. Personally, I would vote yes on the have a place online where you can buy literally any kind of thing and it's delivered to you pretty quickly sort of measure. Without the dude who came up with it becoming the one true money god. Like, Bezos tried to patent the idea for reusable rockets. When he plans to launch satellites to give high-speed internet, Elon Musk accuses him of being a copycat. When Bezos buys an autonomous car startup, Musk accuses him of being a copycat. Like, guys, these aren't your ideas. Did you come up with the idea for autonomous cars? Rockets? You're not pioneers of thought or brilliant inventors. We all think autonomous cars are a neat idea. Jeff Bezos, inventor of Siri with a different name, creator of owning a grocery store. And now we gotta listen to this guy on how to fight climate change and what we should be doing with outer space. Dude even named his ship New Shepard because, you know, we must protect and guide the sheep. Maybe even the robot sheep. And His big epiphany, which he definitely didn't plan ahead of time like some kind of insidious space baron, is to move industry and pollution and millions of workers into space to serve Earth. We won't change how we do things. We must continue to sacrifice everything in the name of growth, of efficiency, and profit. We'll move all the bad stuff to space. As Bezos said,
I'm pursuing this work because I believe if we don't, we will eventually end up with a civilization of stasis, which I find very demoralizing.
You gotta keep moving. Surely, if millionaires aren't going space surfing, then we're in stasis. You gotta grow, all right? You gotta keep polluting. We can't stop polluting or growing. We gotta move it up there. And speaking of up, I find it funny that the lesson that Earth is a fragile, borderless planet is something he could just learn from watching WALL-E. A counterpoint to Bezos' idea to save the planet is literally just the first 10 seconds of WALL-E. Like, it's right there, man. You know that movie about the massive company that invades all aspects of your life and pollutes and automates away jobs and so on? Jeff, look at all the pollution in space, man. Maybe this is just the circle of life, though. As one Amazon dies, so another will take its place. But despite all of this, Bezos is still grateful to how he got there. On the backs of workers and the idea bookstore, but online. Yes, after the launch that he admits was a joyride for the wealthy, he quite astutely and not at all self-reflectively thanked
Every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, because you guys paid for all of this.
Oh, good. That's what everyone wanted. I'm sure all the Amazon employees were working hard so that Jeff Bezos could slap on a cowboy hat he's never worn and ride that space wave. Shred the gnar, brah, or quasar, or whatever. So see you in space, everybody. Cold, unforgiving capitalist space. For toiling and refueling the reusable rocket to take Jeff to his rocket harbor to get on his helicopter to land on his regular yacht next to his super yacht. And maybe we too can boldly, proudly look up at the stars, the heavens, through the pollution, and say in one voice,
Best day ever.
They don't need to send a poet because they already did. In conclusion, it would have been pretty funny if Jeff Bezos died in space by... What's up, you fucking pieces of shit? I mean, hey friends, thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We've got a patreon.com/somemore news, and we've got a podcast called Even More News, where all the podcasts are listenable to. And merch. And, you're not. I didn't mean to swear.